Omani humi, Omana huodin dosu, Emranti empobro, na one papa, Enkukwa shishi, Asisan wachi, Nansuwana wache, Eradieni.
So, hello, hi, I am GB Solomon. Welcome to my channel. This is another episode of Roast on GB Interactive. I hope you are doing well. I'm not doing bad myself at all. So on Roast, I review and react to your favorite gospel music out there. And today I'm doing one of my favorite things, that is roasting an entire album. I really love when I have to roast like a project, because it gives me an opportunity to get into the mind of the minister or the composer, try to understand the various elements that they brought together to create that wonderful project. I try to understand how the songs relate to the theme, and it also gives an opportunity to have an experience when I listen to the song in the sequence in which they are placed. That is why if the sequencing is not really done well, like it kind of, put you in the mood, take you out, put you in the mood, take you out, like it doesn't really feel right with me. And so I love to roast albums, and I think people should really get into listen to albums instead of just going out for just the singles that have made hits on the various albums. Today I'm roasting Kofi Owusu Preprah, the Father's Gift album, and I have a few thoughts and comments about it. The Father's Gift album is a 12-track album which features Kofi himself, his father, Reverend George Owusu Mensah, Ife Grace Emi Newman, Shadrach Mensah, among others. This album happens to be a tribute to the legacy of his father, who is one of gospel music legendary icons, who has released many timeless songs that we still jam and worship with till this day. Some of the songs were featured, which I will get there very soon. Kofi has really grown to become a household name in this country when it comes to gospel, and I believe that this feat wasn't achieved in just all of a sudden. He's really worked hard to get to this point. From the time he released his debut single, Yesu Nyameba, I was still in tech at the time, and I can remember how much the song did well, at least in Kumasi. That's where I was at the time. The students really loved it. Then he used to come for masquerade rehearsal to come and give us an inspiration here and there. Pichef. We're like, okay. And seeing how his growth has been exponential and phenomenal, I think that he's a sort of inspiration to many youngins out here. And it's a privilege to talk about the album, and it's a privilege to also be very candid with my opinion. He's released about 2 albums since his maiden single, Yesu Nyameba. He's also had a few singles put out there, and The Father's Gift happens to be his 3rd album. Generally, the album was well produced, from the output that Owusu Preprah gave to the invigorating and hypnotizing vocals from the BVs to the arousing showcase of talent from the band. And the entire production was a solid one. The writing was also very unique, and you can identify him with it. Just that a lot of the songs had some few sampling in them here and there. And the way I enjoyed his originals, I'd wish that most of the songs would have been originals, And I also think that maybe because the album happens to be a tribute to his father, and going back to roots and bringing old tunes and taking inspiration from here and there, all kind of sum up to the whole tribute thing. But like I said, I really wish we had more of his originals. There were a lot of original songs on his, because the ones that sound original too, you can hear influences or sampling from other songs, like with Pentecost's Oh Yeah, Jesus was in one of the songs that sounded like new, but at the end of the day it was like, okay, a rendition of the old song. Generally, I understand why the improvisation and rendition had to come in. He's a creative person, and we all love to play with the old songs, and so yeah.
This praise upon it.
He ushers us into the album with Big God Remix, one of the singles that he released earlier, which I've already roasted.
Big God, oh, big God, oh, you are too big, so good we cannot describe you. Big God, oh, new words can't describe the God you are.
In this particular Caribbean groove song, they use expressive and rhythmic instrumentation together with very simple melody and straightforward message to describe the vastness of Okokoroko, and they describe how indescribable God is, and they proclaim that mere words cannot describe him. Personally, the instrumentation in this song was the highlight for me, from how the lead guitar, sounded very tasty, to the the beautifully shaded bass lines and the bright and powerful trumpets, like, just did it for me. Like, the African Adowa God Day was also given, which is the second track on the album. It's a Thanksgiving jam that easily gets a listener into the mood. You either nod your head, tap your feet, or even rise up to your feet and shake that boogie that Jesus gave you.
Never, I will praise, oh, His goodness and His mercy is here forever. Say, no weapon formed against me.
The message is very simple, God Day, and it's evident in the work that he did on the cross for us, and for this reason, according to the songwriter and the entire band, they will sing praises. In this song, again, they use expressive instrumentation like the previous one, with careful attention to the choice of accompaniment. Because every accompaniment, contributed to the African Adowa sound, from the trumpets to the drum chops to the bass lines to the xylophone, just to mention a few. It must have not been an easy task for the vocalist too, because when you listen, you can realize that this song demanded a lot of energy, but they were able to push from the beginning to the end. It also shows that they have really good breath support and energy as a whole. And as if it wasn't enough, no other God follows.
No other God, in the class all by yourself. We call you Jesus.
One of my personal favorites on the album. I've actually roasted it earlier on this same channel some few weeks ago. Try and check it out. It talks about a God that's incomparable, very simple writing and repetitive. And I said a lot about it during my roast. I think one thing I failed to mention was the fact that I believe that the first swap came in a bit too early. Then the next track, another favorite, I think my top one on the album, We Wait, which features Efe Grace. In this song, Kofi and Efe lead the entire band to ask God for a revival, literally. I love that the song was allowed to grow gradually.
Sing, we wait. Set our hearts on fire. Set our hearts on fire. Tell Jesus, we wait on you. With arms open.
The composition was excellent. The vocal direction and voicing of the harmony parts, chef's kiss. The arrangement made the song flow in a very natural way. It was literally like a professional, piece. The instrumentation was just right to carry the song. The various accompaniments also were introduced, gradually, accordingly, just to create the enough effects, and then the song, was going slow but sure. The tremolo from the violin, kept giving me all this, all these feels. It added so much emotion to the record. And when they sing, "Come refine us, come and feel us, we will never be the same again," you can actually tell the aggression, the yearn, the commitment, and seriousness that they seek these things from God. And I believe that if I were God, I'll have no choice than to come down and give them what they seek for. Listening to this particular song, the image that kept imprinting in my mind was the time that Jacob was wrestling with the angel and was saying that, "If you do not bless me, I won't let you go." That is how they sounded in this particular one. The yearn was felt.
Father Lord, we wait on you, yeah. We wait on you. Set our hearts on fire. We wait.
it literally became my prayer, like whilst I was listening to it. But I feel like Ife's entry wasn't so strong, but she quickly, recovered and rendered the song in a very genuine way that depicted so much hunger for a revival. The babies were giving room to be heard this time around, and I felt them very well on this particular one.
We try, that you will hear us when we call your name. We trust in you, Jesus. We trust in you, Jesus. We trust in you, Lord. We trust.
Period song, because it's fast songs, and there was so much instrumentation which were also equally loud. Sometimes I feel like they were a bit bordering on overshadowing, but well, it's a pretty song, so I was like, okay, let's let it slide. I felt at this particular time the BVs were really heard. They were given pitch, they were given range, they were given dedication, and as a matter of fact, they gave what the song needed, for that moment. The song was very intense and very deep seated. I don't want to use profound again, and everything was just on point except the first swap again, which I believe happened too early. I'll talk about the swap thing like in the ending part of the video. Before I talk about that, can we agree that we need the Spirit of God every hour? And that's basically the message of the next song titled We Need You.
Father, we need you, we need you. Holy Spirit, we need you. Feel as we wait on you. Holy Spirit, we need you. Feel as we wait on you.
This is more like a rendition of the popular public domain song, and it's a beautiful rendition, I must admit. And the position of this song on the album was very well placed. It was actually very calculative, but in a good way. And the song was literally asking for a revival and asking that we be rekindled on a regular basis. A beautiful vamp was added to the song, and I believe that was a good one. Let me just chip in this. I understand that Kofi usually loves loud, high-pitched vocals, and so like if you listen to like most of the songs, they are quickly like in a hurry to get to the point where they have to belt out the notes and sing so loud. But sometimes, from my own perspective, I feel like you will get there eventually, so just take your time till you get there. It was more like, oh, the song is, we are now marinating on the song and the mood, and quickly like we have to be ushered there at all costs, like you the bab. Then there is Jesus, another rendition with a rather beautiful improvisation of the original Pentecostal song.
So Jesus.
At this point that I admitted that I love Kofi Preprah when he's on the worship record, because I'm able to get him more when the songs are worship filled. I believe he said every time it's a worship time, and I believe that he's a worshiper first than any other thing, and so you can tell that when he's on a worship song, like it just carries the presence. In this particular Jesus song, we talk about an unchanging Jesus who remains the same yesterday, today, and forever. Then there is a eulogy, I don't know how it's pronounced, eulogy, and I literally couldn't find any words to describe this particular one, because it made me speechless. Hearing those hits, timeless hits back to back. Let's just take this few time to appreciate the gift of a man.
He sang songs like Wunkuto na wosaye, Wunkuto na wosenasi, Sebribiwa Sidachira and Kawuna Medi Mao Wunkuto Nawosa. And there's a verse to that song that says, when you Yamashrain or Surunia Sasima Wahindi Dada Hindi Sebribiwa Sidachira and Kawuna Medima Wunkuto Namusa. We wrote songs like Mitrimu Ponya Boni Intimi Munsha Mitrimu Ponya Boni Intimi. We wrote songs like
So right after that, they follow up with my train area denim, and again I was tongue-tied on this particular song.
They give up.
Because I was listening to the album, in that order, when it got here, I was just literally overwhelmed. The lyrics are definitely spirit inspired. The writing was so good, very profound and deep-seated. No matter how many times I hear this particular song played or ministered, it never loses its power. Just like the blood of Jesus, I'm sorry. Like I said, I won't make any attempt to talk about this song because doing so will just be a disservice. It will just be like, why are you touching this classic, Then he revisits his own composition, Yes Nyameba.
From the east to the west, from the north way down to the south. No king compares to Jesus. You will reign forevermore.
Titled The Son of God, and it's literally a direct translation of the tree version of his maiden single, debut single, and it's a good one, but the tree version will forever hold a place in my heart. This one didn't really give me that much of a vibe, but well, I think other people might be blessed by it. Maybe it might also be because I've been so used to the tree version that the English version was like anyways. Eminima was then recruited on Nyame Tiase, a Thanksgiving jam, a typical Ghanaian high life jam actually, and that was made obvious by the choice of instrumentation, the composition, and the delivery. It's light-hearted but with message that tells about the living God who exists forever.
As for this one, do the dancing.
Minister Shadrach Mensah comes with his indigenous cuts. I want to know, has there been any name given to what he usually does? I'm calling it indigenous cuts. And I think that was the icing on the cake. The song was generally wholesome. Right after that, Heaven According to Praise follows with the same mood of praise, but this time with particular attention to the message of salvation, heaven, and eternity. With careful heaven-themed songs, he drives home the message of salvation in a fun and exciting way. Makes it look like heaven bed. Heaven bed actually.
We are going yo. We are going ya to heaven. No looking back. No turning back. We are going yo. We are going ya. No looking back. No turning back. Horns. Hey, let's dance. Let's go.
Typical Jama praise employs sounds that can be linked to the Gan tribe. The voicing of the harmony, also imitated the same sounds as well. And I would have loved if he had added one or two Gan songs as well, because Jamaje and Crime for the Idebab. He signs off the album then with Songs of the Cross, a mid-tempo ballad song that celebrates the sacrifice of Christ on the cross. They rather, approach this song in a very relaxed manner, and I get the sense of, contentment.
Yeah, you are yet down. Water, would walk out very.
The kind of joy that engulfs you, and you can literally not really find the words to describe, because I love every bit of it. So now let's give general thoughts about it. Personally, like I said, I love him more when he's on the worship records than on a praise record. The worship allows him to take his time to drop the inspiration or the words one after the other. And one of the recurring things that I didn't love also was, the swabs that were in almost every song, and the fact that they happen so quickly, and it gives an impression that he loves, when his BVs are sounding really, really pitchy and, singing, belting. And so I feel like some of the songs, they didn't really take that time to get to go into that point. But generally, I love the writing. It's very unique to him, and I wish there were more original songs on the album. It was a good tribute, because the part that he was eulogizing his father was very emotional, and it really had me, because I couldn't even talk about it. But what do you think about this, Rose? Feel free to share your comments and thoughts with me in the comment section below. Don't forget to leave me comments, and keep coming back to the channel for more content. I hope you do have a wonderful time. Bye bye.